Hello there. Welcome to What's the Story? My name is Janice Hermson. I'm your host, and we have Ed who's got chocolate in his mouth.
It's a
Ed Noel.
it's a wonderful thing. I seek to have that constantly.
That's right. Ed Noel, co-host, and Doug Ashby, author of Heroes and Giants. Yes, good book. Make sure you check it out. I know it might take a little bit. We were being shadow banned or something. I don't know. I even hate to use that word, but it seems like that must be what was happening, or there was something wrong with Facebook or the operator because I couldn't share the show.
We need to
because I
create
tried.
a word that means shadow banned.
I know.
Because
I tried to
shadow
share.
banned is like an oxymoron.
Yeah, so we're not even on yet as far as Facebook is concerned because it takes a little while there's a little bit of a delay. But interesting. Let's see if I can share it this time. So I'm going to try and share the show. Go to one of my groups. This is a private group. Did you see the post sign there that was there?
Mm-hmm.
And now, yeah, can't get to it. Right? See? It's just not letting me.
Well, thank you, Facebook. They actually lift us up when they do this and
They
make us
kinda
more
do.
important than we are. Right? Best I know. Thank you, Facebook.
It's true.
Thank you,
It's
Mr.
true.
Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
for giving
because-
us a voice.
Yeah, kind of are. Right?
Yeah.
Because, all I'm trying to do is just share and let people know we're here. Let's see if I can share it with Brian. Oh, look, it's going to let me send it to them. They'll let me send it, but they won't let me share it publicly, it looks like. And yeah, and I'm in as me. So let me try a group. What's the story? Nope. What is this little red thing here? Text. Oh no, that's just our show. But yeah, it's not letting me get to the post when I try and go down there and share. And you saw that it was there, but then as soon as this thing popped up, it won't let me share. So
Now that the media has gone full on left,
it's terrible.
left leaning, they've eliminated the right leaning stuff on social media, and all there is left.
Well, I don't know. I don't do a lot on Facebook other than this because I do have people that watch and they like to do it on Facebook. So hopefully they'll kind of check it out and find us if they can. I don't know what to tell you. It's a crazy thing.
It's a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, and I really wanted to share this part of the show is generally about publishing. And so, maybe they don't even want me to talk about that.
I'm pretty sure they're against books too.
Unless they have odd stuff in it.
No, they have reading material, not books, all electronic. Right?
Oh, it's true. Very true. Well, we have all kinds of reading material. We have audiobooks. We can talk about Doug's book, which is Heroes and Giants, as I said earlier, and he's got an audiobook that's on bookgallernv.com. And I do want to mention that we are heard on 93.7 FM via America Matters Media right here in Northern Nevada. And we are on from 7 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays.
We have that prime time spot.
We do. It's a good
7
spot.
to 9
7 to 9.
tonight.
Yes, we'll be on tonight. We have it's a replay of last week's show. So if you missed last week, you can listen to it. If you're in Northern Nevada, you can listen to it on 93.7. And for anybody, just make sure you check out all the America Matters media shows. They're awesome. And pretty soon you're going to be able to find some of our shows from the LaRue Press Network airing there just like we do. So next week, I think we have an education show starting. And then the following week, we're going to start doing election stuff, a lot of ranked choice voting things. So, and observation, if you're interested in learning how to observe for elections, we're going to have some education on that. So it'll be fun. It'll be good. I don't know. Some people may not think that's fun. I think it's fun.
Well, I was going to say, as long as you're not watching like a magician who's like, are there any magician volunteers for the,
for the election?
To help the vote?
The ballots here, thumb drives there.
I'm just
Here
saying, look,
drive, there
look,
drive,
they're gone.
drive.
Look, they're gone. Oh, they've doubled.
Oops.
I'm just saying, a
Good
magician
Good thought.
would make things interesting.
I can see Doug's brain just kind of rolling over there, and he's trying to think of a comeback for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh,
And once we have some folks on, we you can contact us. You can text at 775-399-2888. And last hour we had somebody, we don't know who that was.
Yes, somebody was speaking French.
Yes, he was speaking French. Oh, and another language. He was multilingual.
Bonjour.
Yes, but he was multilingual. So
Comment allez-vous?
you know,
not me.
one time I was.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
I had to get a birthday card for Debbie. I ran down to the market and I looked. Well, this is when I
Hard to look in the market.
So hold on, Doug. We gotta go. We gotta go way back. If you're shopping for your wife
No.
for 50 years at the market,
This
what was it? Spruces?
No, this was
Oh
for,
no, for a
This was for a birthday card. Well, I was in East LA. All of them were in Spanish. Oh man, I need a card and I don't have time. So I grabbed one. So I took it home, gave it to her, and then I translated it. She doesn't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. So I just wrote in what I wanted it to be.
Oh my goodness, that's dangerous.
When you,
That's dangerous.
Somebody writes in a different language. That gives us carte blanche.
I was going to say
say what
carte
we want.
blanche.
Is that? Did you have to go to one of those curtained areas in the store to get it?
Yeah. Debbie laughs at me too because I have a foolproof way. All of you guys out there, I want you to pay attention to this. Strictly pay attention to this. When you go to the market, you're pressed for time, and you go down the row that has greeting cards. My gosh, it's 100 feet long and 300,000 cards in there. Do like I do. Get to the area and you look sideways at it to see which cards are the most are taken out of. That's the best one. That's called the Cliff Note version of getting a greeting card.
You know what that's called, Doug?
Debbie, I'm so sorry.
You know what
for
I
you.
call that? You know what I call that? Regular. That's regular. That's average. That's what people take. They don't take good.
Well, do you have time to sit there and read all of
Yes.
these cards? Well, that's-
Yes.
Obviously, not as much time
I
as you
do for
got.
my
I was
husband.
going to say, obviously, you got way more time than I got.
Do you know how many guys out there that listen and go, oh,
No, right? So I had no money ever. So I got the nicest cards always, right? And they were always papyrus. I always got really nice. I used to get handcrafted cards, but that's all you got because that's what I had.
Wow. Wow is all I can say. I just don't even know how to respond to this.
Well, does everybody?
Just shows the differences between men and women.
Oh, it sure does. Does everybody out there know what a cliff note is? Cliff
I don't
notes?
know. I don't know. You know what a cliff note is?
Do you know? You know? Well, I don't know.
I know what a
So it was a college,
Yeah,
just
I know
little
what it
note.
is.
Yeah.
No, that was what they. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was it was Cliff's notes,
Right.
and when you had in English, they said, "Read
To
this
cheat.
book." Yeah, you go get the Cliff
It
notes.
was to cheat.
Yeah,
That's what it's the cheater notes, right?
Well, it's like the libs note.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh,
you're
my
absolutely
goodness.
right, Janice. You want to take the easiest path, go ask a guy how to do it.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
So we do know the shortest distance between 2 points.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we talked a little bit last week about some trends in publishing. I found some more from another site that is saying that these are future trends in publishing 2024. And one of them is one we did talk about last week, which is AI, the AI takeover, right? And I'm curious to know what people feel how they feel they're going to use AI. Do you guys like to use AI at all?
Nope.
You?
I haven't. However, I know it's on Meta, on Messenger, right? And so I kind of keep waiting to ask it philosophical questions like, what's your biggest challenge?
Oh, my goodness.
Or, right, those kind of bigger. I mean, I used to like big picture stuff until they're all dark and negative now.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And so it's hard to, It's like a dog out of the past is barking at me. And I hear you, Willard.
Oh, if you want to go there. Oh my goodness.
That's clear. There's some clairvoyancy going on here. I think it's a little bit like our prescient word of the day.
That's right. That's right.
We can see the future, and it's questionable.
Don't let that background noise bother you. Ed said he had a little cough in his throat.
That's it. That's
Well,
all it is.
No, they're doing one of those SPCA animal commercials on the other side of the wall.
That's what it is.
Hey,
oh my goodness.
You heard it here first.
That's right. So for AI, I've tried to use AI for different things, and I found it less than gratifying to try to get it to tell you anything. And it's very limited from my experience. It's limited because it's only going back to a certain period of time, whatever that particular bot has been programmed for. And I tried to, I think I told you guys, I was trying to find out about voting in the 1900s and when they were hand counting things. And I wanted to find out how long did it take. I just wanted some research. I was going to do an article on it. It could tell me nothing. It didn't even.
Don't you think AI is individualistic, just like people?
Right.
You just need some old people who were around at that time,
You know,
and they can tell you everything about it. Same as AI. They weren't around either.
That's
right?
don't you really dislike it when you put a word into the search engine and you have to go through 3 or 4 paragraphs before the very last one says basically, very succinctly, they don't know.
Right. And that's basically what this was. But I researched the AI bot that I was using and found out that they didn't have it programmed past like 1980 or something. I was like, well, that's useless.
I can do that, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know 1980.
I can call a reference librarian and get that answer.
Right. But
so people don't know that anymore. They don't know that there's a reference librarian that can help you, right? Totally. They just don't know.
But AI, it's only as good as the information, right?
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out.
Same as us, same as people. It's no different.
True.
Ask them what the Dewey Decimal System is.
Yeah.
Best I know, AI invented it.
Well, and one of the comments that's in this article that I'm using is basically saying you've got to look out, like publishers like us, we have to watch out because maybe it's all AI generated content. And who's getting the credit for that? So there's copyright issues. There's lots of different issues that you have to be concerned about. And as a writer, if you're using it for reference material, you got to be careful too.
Well, I was talking with my brother this morning about this very thing because I think Shaq, the basketball player, I think he owns Sears and Forever 21.
Oh, okay.
The brand.
Right.
There aren't any stores.
No.
Right? He doesn't own any real estate or anything, but he's got the branding of that. And that's what Sears and Forever 21 have become, is they're just a brand. They're not, they don't have any value any other way. And that may happen to media companies.
Yeah, it very well could.
It's the same.
Yeah, it could. But as a publisher, we have to watch for what people are doing, what are they presenting, and are they proposing that this is their own material, or how is it written?
What constitutes plagiarism?
Oh, that's a big topic.
Well, it really is, because when you do research,
and there are ways you can check to see if somebody's plagiarized too.
Yeah.
Just ask Biden.
AI.
Just
he can tell you about plagiarism.
Read anything about President Biden's, you'll find good examples.
There you go. And the other thing that it mentions is that it's going to give opportunities for people who maybe are intimidated by writing. If nothing else, I think that one of the benefits of AI could be that, you look at that blank page and you don't know what to write. You're trying to get started. You can suggest to AI what it is that you're looking to do, and it'll get you going.
It'll write a page of the exact same stuff, nothing you want.
There you go. Well, but sometimes that's what you do as a writer. You write a whole lot of stuff that's not even going to be
What
useful.
do you do to break writer's block? How do you get through that?
I just write. And that's a lot of what, and when I say that, I mean, I just start to write something. So
Well,
even if
that's,
it's
yeah,
nonsense,
that's
even if it's
basically
nonsense,
what I do is I put just word bursts
right,
on the page.
right. And whether it's thoughts or, yeah,
Exactly. And then you
yeah.
look at them and you go, oh, and then you write a little for
Right.
this. And then
Well,
for
and
this.
generally speaking, and this is true of most books too, when you first start writing, the first few chapters are oftentimes either the middle chapters because you're starting at the end, right? And you're working your way through, and then you finally get to what you're really trying to say. So sometimes the first chapter ends up being like what was the third chapter. So, and that's what your editor helps you with, is to figure out, how do I get to the beginning, right? And you think you're at the beginning, but it's really not, right? You're really like already halfway in because you know what you want to say, and so you're saying it, but you're saying it too soon. You're not leading the reader in.
Well, yeah, the
So-
phrase "tell me everything since the earth cooled" is pretty big.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Another topic that they talk about is recession reading.
Is the earth cooling?
Well, that's what they told us in the 70s.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you know, again, with the advent of writing assistants, boy, I use that all the time because, just like Janice said, when you write something and you're doing these word bursts, pretty soon you look at it and you go, wait a minute, that belongs up here. So you do a
Right,
cut and paste,
right.
and then pretty soon you look at it and you go, wow, that came out all right for
Yeah.
not knowing what I was talking about.
I didn't know what I wanted to say, but
Well, you know,
there it is.
again,
that's Doug actually not talking about Heroes and Giants.
That's right.
That's his next book.
well, you know, is plagiarism just word for word copying somebody, or could be word for word, not
Word for every other word.
copying what their idea was?
I know ideas can't be copyrighted.
Yeah.
Ideas cannot be copyrighted, but you'll know plagiarism when you see it, because you know it's pretty.
It
reads like it did. Exactly. So one of the things about recessions, right, which is what they're now saying that we might be going into.
We called that one.
Yeah. Well, I think that we've probably been on the road for a while. But one of the things they're talking about inflation, and one reason for the increased price of books is inflation, but it's also the price of paper. And boy, is that ever true?
Hold on. Isn't paper green? Isn't it renewable? Isn't it everything every environmentalist wanted in their dream world?
Yeah, that we don't write on the back of orange crates or something. It has to be a clean sheet of paper.
But it's made from wood. It's made
Well,
from trees.
the problem that we have is that we quote people, here's what your book is going to cost. And then 2 months later, if they want to come back and reprint it, we have to give them another quote because potentially the price has changed. And most times, because of the way the book is put together, it's not a huge difference, but it's still every penny counts. And so, you know, it's frustrating as an author if you come in and we give you a price, you say, well, why can't we keep that price? Well, we can only hold it for a certain period of time.
So who can though? Right? Everybody knows inflation.
Right.
And everybody knows. I mean,
Everybody doesn't know.
people don't buy food. They don't buy groceries. They don't shop at like burgers and go, oh, my $25 now for lunch at McDonald's.
Well, a lot of
How can people not know?
Well, there just are. I don't know what to tell
and
you.
as far as
What do you think that the whole Democratic program tailors to? People that don't know.
No, those are people that don't care. People that don't care is a different group.
Since you want to go there, I'm gonna challenge that because I'm not going to say that it's Democratic. It's any politician banks on people that are low information voters. That's what they bank on. They don't talk issues. They talk all around issues.
Generalities.
Yes, and they're taught to not talk issues.
Yes.
And I object, and you know, so I'm in a minority. But regardless, that's your politicians. And that's right or left or in between. They're all talking generalities. They're not talking issues.
I just read a book, and it was the one
Oh,
Sorry.
there you go.
Right. The one,
Just smack me.
the one that I recommended, the woman or the women
Right,
out
women,
last
yeah.
week. At the end, the author said, I've never seen this done before. She said, "This is the typeset that I used, and this is the reason that I used it. This is the spacing I used, and this is the paper I put it on." I thought, wow, I've never seen that
And I've
before.
seen it done. Yeah.
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 And don't you just say cool and don't use any brain cells and just move on down the road? I mean, right? What does that have to do with
Only a writer is going to care
Well,
about that, or an author, or a book.
But-
book. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's like anything, right? It's scoreboard. What's your product,
Right.
right? I don't generally, right? I understand processes can be challenging for me and others, but they don't matter. It's scoreboard. What's your product?
Right. How are you going to get it to your audience? That's a real big question. So they talk about the cost of publishing, and this particular website is quoting around $6,000 to do a book project. It doesn't have to cost that much. It can cost that much, but generally speaking, it doesn't have to. It just depends on what you're choosing to do. And in the days of books on demand, you generally don't have to get your product up front.
Sounds like it's about the same cost as 1 or 2 implants.
But it doesn't have to cost that.
I'm just
It's
saying.
just they're
I'm just
going
saying.
on the high side for the sake of kind of covering all bases, right? And I get that.
Get that gap in your teeth filled or write a book.
Wow. Okay. And then they talk about the hybrid publishing models. Do you guys know what a hybrid publishing model is?
No.
It's where the author pays for part and the publisher pays for part, so that you're kind of like working as a partnership instead of only self-publishing or only having the publisher bear the brunt of the full expense. And we use the hybrid publishing model a lot. In this particular case, these folks are saying that authors should be wary before choosing a hybrid publishing company. There are a lot of vanity publishing companies out there that are preying on new authors who don't understand the self-publishing process. And I do agree with that. There's quite a number of vanity publishing companies out there. So, and vanity publishing just means that they're not helping at all. They're just saying, "Oh, you like that? That's beautiful. Yeah, let's go." And
Right, that's
they're not-
isn't that EV publishing, right? So you got the hybrid. That's where the sweet spot is,
Yeah.
right?
It is. It is. Doug's got some issues here, so he's getting up and he's got to go out.
I've been sitting here trying to work it out, and it's not working.
Just scream.
This is live radio.
I just scream it out. Touch your toes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh.
Okay, so, and it looks like it says making way for kids. So as we become more and more reliant on technology, some consumers are turning away from tablets and video games in favor of a delightful book. What do you think? You think kids are going for books? I don't know. I just have my grandkids, and some of them like books, some of them don't.
Well,
You know,
so
and they're from 4 to 23.
to me, books are such a great gift because they're a standalone thing. Right now, with kids and all their devices, right, they're playing their games that are on both devices, and
Right.
they're interacted, and all their stuff's infused. A book takes them outside of that.
It does.
And
It does. If you can get them to pay attention to it and capture them that way, that they can learn to love it.
well, right. It is even the funniest dad got my son, right? He's 20. We went back to Ohio. He bought a Michael Crichton book at the airport to read.
Oh, is that right?
Right. Like the first time I know he's ever bought like a book on his own, not needed for
Right.
college.
Right.
And it was for entertainment value, not having to do with sports
Right.
on a
That's
plane. And so for me, that was an amen moment because he, right, he's going to be a reader now.
Maybe so. You okay?
No, I'm not there yet. But I got up for, this is radio, so I have to kind of explain it. I got up and walked around the room here and looked cramping my leg out. And I hate to tell you this, Janice, but I'm going to have to write you up for some of your extension cord wiring.
You're off the clock, and you're not
Off the
supposed.
clock.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no extension cord wiring.
Yep, that's right. You're not supposed to look.
There is not.
There isn't any?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No,
Oh,
there isn't. No, they're all plugged directly into the wall. I have, where are you seeing an extension cord?
Well, right
That's
there.
not an extension
That's a
cord.
phone
That's
charger.
a phone charger.
This one that's going underneath the door here that you've wrapped. Oh, that's
That's just a cord that goes into that's plugged into a light. That's not, and it's no,
I think that's a dog
it's
toy.
legal. It's legal because I've talked to the fire department.
Oh, did you?
So yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes,
All
I
right,
did.
good. Well,
So-
bless it then.
Well, 55,
Wow.
about 55,000 folks did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. I don't know what to tell you.
oh,
So
that's
there
terrible.
is a push for global distribution. So if you're only working out of your home country, and with Amazon, I can't imagine
Yeah.
people only doing that, because if you're on Amazon, you're global.
And it's a great time for a little coaching moment, right? People who are going to see an expert or expect to see an expert want that person from the other side of the world.
Right.
They will go and listen to the person from the other side of the world, even if they got the same knowledge as your next door neighbor.
Right. And
And
not
so-
only that, I've told lots of times, I've probably told this story, but our first writers that engaged with us were from outside the country. It was easier to engage them than it was within our own country. So don't be shy of, looking beyond your own shores, I guess I would say.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, don't be afraid of that
Right.
position in yoga that you know you're going to fall down on.
Yeah.
Don't be
And-
afraid, because Jan's here to pick you up.
Yeah, and whatever you don't know, there's so much out there where you can find it out. You just kind of have to search. Don't use Google, obviously, because Google is not giving you much. You could see the limited results we got on certain things. I mean,
Right.
and it's very segmented. And, when we first started doing all this stuff with searching and everything, gosh, it was fun. It was so great because there was so much information out there and you could grab it all. Now they've limited us to death.
Yep.
Yeah.
To death.
Now, well, right, Google it. Well, that's one source. And
Right.
everyone's using one source. So best I know, we've all been dumbed down.
Yeah, well, I've heard that Google, I'm not sure who, there was a district judge or something. I'm sorry, I don't have the details on this, but there was a district judge, I think, that indicated that they're calling Google a monopoly, basically.
The
Did you
Brits,
hear
the
about that?
Brits beat them down again.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Brits beat them down.
So,
It has to do with browsers allowing, like, for instance, iPhones have Safari,
right.
right? That is their base stuff, but it's not biased. Well, I'm sure it has its own bias.
Oh, it does.
But it's
They all
not
have bias.
Google, Facebook, right? It's
Right.
not the core.
But like
guys.
even DuckDuckGo that I used, I believe they use the Google search engine to
and then
deliver.
pick opposite.
Well, but it looks like what they do is they don't filter it as much as Google does, right? So they're using the same search engine, but you're getting a few more results. So it's just very hard. Don't forget about your library. I mean, your library is a really good source of information.
Well, and we know that the number one or number 5 things on top of your search are all paid for,
Right.
right? So I go to page 2.
Yeah. Oftentimes I do.
I mean, if I'm searching for something mostly, and I am semi-retired, but Jan and I were talking about our connections and
I'm not letting him
networking.
retire.
And you know
Don't
what?
listen to him.
I use my phone a friend and ask the smartest person in my network about that subject, and that's where I get my information and move forward with it. And
What you aren't telling people is the smartest person that you get is a 9-year-old.
depends on your group, right?
Well,
Might
that's
be.
no, you think that's a singer? That's the truth. There's just a lot of smart kids out there.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are. All right. How about this? The rise of audiobooks. Oh, Doug, you know all about audiobooks, right? What are you going to say?
Are we there already?
Oh,
Pardon?
did you want to talk about audiobooks?
Audiobook?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Oh, no,
today.
no booklets yet.
Oh,
no,
I love
not
to
yet.
talk about audiobooks.
Well, it's tough to read while you're riding in the car.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it just is. And I've done this in my past with audio I've read or listened to thousands, all
Me
the
too.
classics. One year I painted my house top to bottom, and I bet I listened to 3,000 books, right? You just put them in the tape player and play them, and you're painting, and you do it, shut it up, and you go. It's unbelievable. But what a wonderful tool it is, because you hear, the folks that are reading are talented.
Right.
And
Generally.
and so they have, voices that sound nice, and they pronounce names correctly, and they often have an accent, or they actually help build the characters
Well, and they're
if
even
they're good.
right. Statistics are reporting that 53% of adults listen to at least, this is all in like blue, so it's hard to read. Listen to at least one audiobook last year, and that was up from 45% in 2023. So, audiobooks are becoming extremely popular for a lot of people.
Well, one of the things that I can
Or
tell
at least
you,
that they're admitting it now, right?
My mom can watch Murder, She Wrote on regular TV or the news, listen to an audiobook, cook dinner, and pull weeds all at the same time, right? And it's one of those skills as we get older.
Yep.
one of the things that I can tell from personal experience is that even if you've read a book, get out and buy the audiobook of it, because just like both Jan and Ed have said, it adds a depth to it because they pronounce the names correctly. They add a voice to the character, which when you're reading it in your lap, you don't have that.
Well, I do. I have.
Well, you can,
I have a picture too.
and just so you know, libraries have audiobooks.
Yes.
So you can actually buy the hard book and never open it, put it on your shelf, and listen to the audio.
Right.
Yeah. I've tried audiobooks before, especially when I'm driving. And the unfortunate thing is it'll be playing and I'm driving along and my mind's 100 miles away from that audiobook.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
no, I enjoy the book.
I get right. I get in there. It's almost like a self-driving car. So you gotta look outside the windows.
Yeah.
Right.
So the next thing that they're saying is trending. We all know about TikTok, right?
Yes.
Do you know about Book Talk? So it's on TikTok. And if you go to Book Talk, you will see that you can get reviews and probably give reviews if that's what you choose to do. And so I did actually, this is the second time I've tried to go on to Book Talk, and they're wanting me to download
Is that
an app.
TOK?
Yes, TOK.
Not
Yes, sorry.
TOK.
Yeah,
No,
like
I'm
TikTok.
just saying.
No, like TikTok.
I
it's
understand,
Book Talk.
but it could be
Yes.
Book Talk.
No, it's not Talk T-A-L-K.
Yeah.
It's Talk T-O-K. And I know there's a lot of discussion about, China and TikTok and all that stuff. But, it's out there. If you're looking to market your book and you find that that's a venue that you feel is a good one for you, you should check it out. It's Book Talk, BOOKTOK.
I think it would be interesting to examine, right? So how many books do folks in China write?
Oh, I don't know.
Right? Do they have?
Never
I don't think they have the freedom to
No.
write like we do here, and so hence we don't know any Chinese authors.
Right.
Hey, just pick one up and then
Looks to me like a great market. There's billions of
Well,
people there.
There are
Right?
translation
There's
services if you want them.
There's billions of people there. Send a book.
Yep, you can always have your book
I don't
translated.
know anybody that can translate.
I know there are book translators. You can
Yeah.
get them. Yeah, if you need to, you can.
I wonder what does it cost for
I
that?
don't
Because
know.
There's certainly, Ed's right, there's 600 million people.
I'm sure through the international,
55,000.
55,000. Well, we could probably order a French speaking or whatever speaking person through the sex slave industry.
Yeah.
Oh, a whole nother topic. A whole nother topic.
You
Oh,
know,
my.
It's just a beautiful
So anyway-
world. It's a beautiful world.
There's, past what we were just talking about, my book's about the fire department. I don't know anything about the fire department in China.
Right.
Might just be a couple of guys running around with a motorcycle and a
knows?
fire extinguisher.
Yeah. who
Best I
knows?
know, they probably just got a camera in there.
We'll have
They have
to.
a camera. They just monitor.
Well,
We'll have to
another thing you can't overlook is it's probably real small.
Ah.
I
Okay,
think you
Mark.
should make that call. I think you should do some research with the whatever county surrounds like Taipei or something. And
All right. So
find an
check out
equal.
Book Talk. That's TOK, not TALK. Book
You
Talk.
know, I
Check
am
that
going to do that. I'm going to investigate a little
Yeah.
bit about.
Well, and I was gonna download it last night, and I remember doing this before. And I want you to put an app on, and so I went to Google, so Google Play, so I could download the thing, and then I didn't have my password, all these things, right? So I didn't end up doing.
Well, that's why I have no hours.
Yep, that's right. Where's the app?
Yeah,
Where's the doggone app?
same thing.
It's a terrible thing.
Yes.
All right. So, and Barnes and Noble and other publishers are already partnering with TikTok in a big way, with the popular on TikTok sections reigning supreme in bookstores. So, it's probably something you should look at if you're an author and check that out. And we're going to get to our pretty quick. We're going to do our book blitz because we will run out of time if we don't. But they also talk about a self-published majority. So if you're interested in learning how to self-publish, there's lots of things out there. We do a 30-minute consultation to see if we're the right kind of publisher for you. We do self-publishing as well as hybrid publishing. We've done traditional publishing in the past. We're not doing it right now because we're already signed up for way too far in advance. So, but yeah, self-publishing is a good option for people who want to maintain control, keep the direction of their book the way they want it, but still get some assistance. If you get the right publisher, you'll still get assistance, even though you're making all the final decisions. They can give you the decisions about, what kind of paper, or what's commercially viable. And so it's good to find the right place for that, the right publisher. And I always tell people in my consultation, we may not be the right place for you.
Well, you talk about trending. What's the next big thing? I think coffee houses and Starbucks, you can actually
That's so funny
drink
because we're
drink
wanting to do
coffee.
that.
You can drink coffee and look for a book, right? Remember,
Yes.
you could have food or whatever.
Yes.
But I think coffee houses
That's what we want.
elevated
Yeah.
the bookstore, say the last, what,
Oh, I
10
love
years,
it.
15
love it.
years?
I have a
And what's
barista
next?
granddaughter, and she may want to go into business. And so I told her, you can come here and you can open up your business right here and have your coffee house and books all at the same time.
I
So
love it.
I do too. I think it'd be great. I'm trying to encourage her. So we'll see. Maybe it'll put her through college, right?
But there's an assumption there that you have time to do that. It's the reason I don't golf. Golfing takes, to play 18 holes takes
What-
five.
What are you
or-
saying that you wouldn't have time for? Coffee house?
Yes. Well, I don't. What time in my day do I say, oh, gee, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to go sit down, have a cup of coffee, and read for the next hour and a half. I don't have the luxury of having a free hour and a half.
But don't you have like you and Jan are my friends. We meet for 2 hours on Tuesday every evening. I meet with Marvin like every other week.
Right.
We go have coffee, right? My friends, the people that I meet them at a coffee house and have coffee because I don't drink. I don't meet them at a bar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you make, I think you make the time. That's what
Well,
happens.
that's
is
just,
you make the
like
time.
golfers, like I started to say, 18 holes of golf
That's
takes
wild.
at least six hours.
Yeah, my ex used to take off early in the morning on Christmas to do that.
Yes.
Well, not only do you have 6 hours, you have the 12 hours
It
recovering from the alcohol poisoning
It
that comes
is.
with it.
Truly a gentleman's game.
It
You
is.
go out there, you're in a beautiful landscape, you're usually with friends, you're out there and you can just, like you say, discuss what the heck you want. But a lot of them, what they do is they, drink while they're out there.
Yes, they
It's
do.
just, it's just a very, very nice environment. But the unfortunate thing is, during my week, I don't have an extra 6 or 7 hours. I play golf usually maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. And what I've done with it, boy, that was fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. There you go.
It's tough for me to break loose.
You got to pick and choose, man. Too many good things.
Yeah.
Choose books.
Choose books.
Yeah.
Well, this is
But
my cue to you that even though this isn't our book blitz music, we do have to do the book blitz.
Okay.
And I know you don't want to miss it. So next time, maybe I'll have some good music for that. At least I had something. All right. You ready? You want to go first?
Absolutely.
All right.
For those of you who are listening
Book blitz.
around the globe, here in Reno, Nevada, we have what is called Hot on Its Nights. And it is a huge car show. There's people literally from all over the country that bring their cars here. And you name it, it's there. So, with that as a backdrop, the book I chose is A Man, His Cars, Iconic Cars that Stars, Stories from the Men Who Love Them. It's a hardcover. It was written October 2020 by Matt Hranek. Frank. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Discover actors and director Ed Burns talking about his 1969 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, a model he's been dreaming about since his days of pumping gas. NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, whose favorite cars and trucks he loves, and the wow factor of the International CV Series 6.6, or Jay Leno in his 1955 Buick Roadmaster, big enough for him to sleep in while he was trying to make it as a comic, filled with the stunning photographs of old cars and their exquisite details that make car lovers' hearts beat just a little faster, as well as more than 80 personal stories. It's a joy for every reader who knows that a car is never just a car.
And what's it called again?
It is A Man and His Car, iconic car stories from men who love them.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not through.
Oh, sorry.
1,273
Is this A Man in his series number 2? Is that from 2020? Is that when this one is from? And how many ratings?
Pardon?
How many ratings?
1,273.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. A Man and His Car. There you have it. So
Wow.
check it out.
I almost resemble that one.
You do, don't you? Yeah, Ed and his car.
I'm obviously not in the same class of books spoken of, but
It must be all this chocolate I'm eating.
Oh,
man.
I'm so
Isn't
sorry.
that terrible when
It
you
is
get
terrible.
Oh,
It is, yes.
I-
What's that for us?
I am so thematic lately. You know, I go through these little phases. Louis L'Amour last week in the Western. And to double down on that, I went with the Zane Grey.
And what's the name of that one?
This is, of course, it's the Shower of Gold.
Ooh.
Our country should be grateful to Zane Grey, for he has helped preserve the true history and legendary stories of the American West.
Wow.
And every book is a shower of gold.
Ah.
And just fun, light, and those of us that live in the West can relate to things they mentioned. Zane
Yes.
Grey, Louis L'Amour, both of them. And forget yourself in the West.
Yeah, it's a great place to go. All right, so there's Zane Grey. And then next we have, sorry folks, you see me scrolling around here to different things. I have beaten up my microphone. Tess Gerritsen, The Apprentice. That's what I've got for you. And let me stop sharing my screen because I don't have it on the screen right now. So let me just get rid of that. All right, there we go. So Tess Gerritsen, and it is called The Apprentice. And this particular book is it's a boiling hot Boston summer. Adding to the city's woes is a series of shocking crimes in which wealthy men are made to watch while their wives are brutalized. A sadistic demand that ends in abduction and death. This pattern suggests one man, a serial killer whose name is Warren Hoyt, recently removed from the city streets, but the police can only assume an acolyte is at large, a maniac basing his attacks on the twisted medical techniques of the madman he so admires, which is why they call it The Apprentice. It's a different kind of apprentice.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound like you're fired.
No, it's not that kind of apprentice. It's a different apprentice. But there it is, Tess Gerritsen. And I have not read any Tess Gerritsen, so this is new for me. I'm going to try it out, see what I think. Right now I'm reading a lot of history, but I'm going to throw this one in the mix and see if it's something that'll stick with me. I sometimes start a book and never finish. So we'll see, right?
Well, I kind of want to have a flashback to last week's book I recommended, The Woman, by Kristen Hanna. This author, I can't get enough of this book. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it now. And she has the ability to write, to take your mind and put you in that scenario, whether it's happy or depressed. Your body follows that mood. And I have never really ever had an author do that to me before. So I absolutely love it. And it's a book, like I've said before, I wouldn't have plucked that off the shelf.
No, I can imagine.
No, but she moves you, right?
Yes.
Authors and certain people, I don't know any with me now, but I mean, there's authors that like you get, right? There's a match kind of thing.
No.
And you might have
so like if I'm reading fiction, I like John Grisham. The reason that I like John Grisham, his style of writing, and it's also the topic. The topic itself is one that is legal, and you're fighting with them, right? And you're in the fight, and so for me, that's an interesting type of topic, and it's close to reality. I like reading nonfiction a lot. So for fiction, for me, John Grisham's the guy. But it's so funny because not every one of his books is one I like, because if he doesn't do a legal topic, I don't like it.
Well, with this author, this book is about a nurse in Vietnam. She spent 2 years there. And she goes through the fact that she's there, she's witnessing this, and how LBJ and the media back in this country were just out and out lying to us. How we were drafting literally kids outside of high school at 18, 19 years old, drafting them instead of giving them 2 months of training. They were giving them 6 weeks, sending them off to war, and they were getting killed. And now take my mindset, throw me back into the 60s, and I was a true believer then. And
sure,
I have had my eyes open.
That was the time period when that's how people felt,
And I'm not liking the change. I liked it more when I was real naive.
Everyone does.
We are in the awakening, so be prepared for more not liking it, because there's a lot of that. Well, you watched the videos that I showed you today with the water tower, things like that.
Exactly.
This is all the things that the media should be showing us and
It
are
isn't.
not.
They
And
are
you have-
lying to us.
I know, and you have to.
Absolutely lying to us.
I know, and doesn't that make it feel good?
The next thing they'll do is come up with a grassy knoll.
Yeah, well, you have to dig in and you have to look at alternative types of platforms. And then you have to use discernment because not everything
55,000
is.
So,
Yes, right.
When I was a younger man and my kids were young, I used to have them judge commercials
Oh,
and go, what are they selling you? Right? What are they trying to sell you? And the same can be said about our media now.
yes.
They're selling you, right? And all you got to do in front of every article is go, what
Well,
are they selling me?
And it's
And you
also,
see it.
it's like when you look at when they all say that Vance and Trump are weird. Well, that whole weird thing, if one of them had said it, it might have been okay. But all of a sudden you see all these clips of you again. Weird. Oh, he's weird. Oh, he's weird. Oh, that's so weird. Why would anybody want that weird guy?
The
I mean,
Democrats are a little bit
right.
like, where's Waldo?
You know,
yeah.
I really haven't thought about this before. I haven't thought it through, and I will give us some time on this. You said about asking your kids, what are they trying to sell you? If you notice, all commercials are the same. They never sell you the product. They sell you the dream, and they place you in that dream.
Big
How you
items.
satisfy that dream is by getting that product.
The big items they do that.
Absolutely.
Cars are for one. They never talk about a car.
I'm going to apply that now to Pamela and see if that's what they're, because it seems to be that's exactly what they're doing. They're
Yep.
not telling us about the reality of her.
It's because her skin sack is the empty set.
Yeah, that's right. What they're saying is this is the dream of hers.
Yep.
And they're trying to convince you of her dream.
And
That's
on
not
that note,
her.
on that note, I'm afraid we're going to have to cut this short. Please join us every week, 3 to 5, on What's the Story via the LaRue Press Network. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
Have a clue.